Did Iran's latest wave of strikes really destroy 20 US military hangars inside Jordan and leave dozens of American soldiers dead? The explosive claims are spreading rapidly. But what has actually been confirmed? And what remains part of Iran's official narrative? Did intelligence allegedly provided by Jordanian citizens or insiders help Iran identify and target American military positions? As the IRGC publicly thanks unnamed local sources, major questions are emerging over whether any such assistance actually took place. Were US C-17 transport aircraft and other military assets destroyed at Aqaba Airport? Or is the claim being exaggerated? We examine the timeline of events, the competing narratives, and what evidence has surfaced so far. The IRGC claims its operation caught Jordan's allies completely off guard while publicly thanking local individuals for allegedly providing crucial intelligence. But how credible are these assertions? And what could they mean for Jordan's security establishment and its regional partnerships? Iran claims its missiles and drones struck American C-17 transport aircraft and P-8 maritime surveillance planes stationed at Aqaba during the operation. If these claims are accurate, it would mark one of the most significant attacks on US military assets in the region, but independent verification remains limited. The IRGC says the 21st and 22nd waves of Operation Nasr 2 unleashed another round of coordinated missile and drone strikes against US military targets. Tehran is describing the attacks as devastating successes, although many of the battlefield claims have yet to be independently confirmed. Iran launched a fresh wave of missiles at US military targets across the Middle East as the conflict entered another dangerous phase. Multiple missile launches were reported from different parts of Iran, signaling a broad escalation in the regional confrontation. Kuwait said its air defenses engaged hostile Iranian drones after detecting multiple aerial threats entering its airspace. Statement by General Staff of Kuwaiti Armed Forces said, and I quote, "Kuwaiti air defenses are currently confronting attacks by hostile drones, following the sinful Iranian aggression." The General Staff of the Army notes that any explosion sounds heard are the result of air defense systems intercepting the hostile attacks. Everyone is requested to adhere to the security and safety instructions issued by the competent authorities. Unquote. Bahrain activated air raid sirens and urged residents to seek shelter as regional missile threats intensified. The US Embassy warned that central Manama could face potential threats as security conditions rapidly deteriorated. Statement by US Embassy in Bahrain said, and I quote, "The US Embassy has information to suggest that Iran may seek to target unspecified locations in central Manama. We urge all Americans to remain vigilant, follow local authorities' instructions, and review the latest guidance from the US Embassy." Unquote. The IRGC claimed responsibility for a second attack targeting the US military base at Al-Tanf in southeastern Syria. Iranian-linked reports said the latest operation struck a US Special Operations Command Center in what they described as a surprise attack. The IRGC claimed it launched missile strikes targeting US military aircraft at Jordan's Al-Azraq airbase during its latest operation. The IRGC said the missile attack inflicted what it described as severe damage on several American military assets at the base. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed local Jordanian sources provided intelligence that helped identify US military targets. The IRGC claimed its strikes destroyed 20 hangars used by US forces at Al-Azraq airbase in Jordan. Iran also claimed the attack damaged US C-17 military transport aircraft and P-8 maritime surveillance aircraft stationed at the base. Iran's latest missile campaign came as the United States carried out a 9th consecutive night of strikes on Iranian targets. Statement by CENTCOM said, and I quote, "CENTCOM began conducting a new wave of strikes against Iran at 7 p.m. Eastern Time today for the 9th consecutive night. The strikes will continue degrading Iranian military capabilities used to attack commercial vessels and civilian mariners transiting the Strait of Hormuz." Unquote. Statement by CENTCOM said, and I quote, "U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, successfully completed the 9th consecutive evening of strikes against Iran, July 19th, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. CENTCOM assets targeted Iranian military command centers, air defense and coastal surveillance sites, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and communications networks to further diminish Iran's ability to attack commercial vessels and civilian mariners transiting the Strait of Hormuz. The US military is holding Iran accountable at the Commander-in-Chief's direction. CENTCOM forces remain highly vigilant, focused, lethal, and ready." Unquote. Explosions were reported across southern Iran and around the northwestern city of Tabriz during the latest round of attacks. Chabahar, Konarak, and Mahahar were among the locations reportedly hit in the newest wave of American strikes. President Trump said the United States had struck Iran very hard again tonight as operations continued. Trump said the latest military action honored American service members killed during the conflict.
Well, we feel very badly, but those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them very hard again tonight. And we did that in honor of the probably three as opposed to two great patriots. This is a far bigger job that we're doing. We were doing a little job of stopping them from having a certain capability. Now we're just ending it. So it's really not the same thing. What we're doing now is we're ending any chance where they could have a nuclear missile. If you look at it, after a week and a half, not 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stopped them from probably, but I don't want to have the word probably.
CENTCOM said U.S. naval forces redirected 6 vessels while enforcing its maritime blockade operations against Iran. U.S. officials said another vessel was disabled as Washington tightened its naval blockade campaign. CENTCOM confirmed unidentified human remains were recovered following Iran's missile strike on a U.S. position in Jordan. The discovery came days after 2 U.S. service members were killed in the July 17th attack. CENTCOM also confirmed a U.S. service member was killed in northern Iraq on July 18th. The U.S. military said the service member died during the detonation of captured Iranian drone ordnance. A second U.S. service member was wounded in the same incident and continues to receive medical treatment. Iran-aligned Iraqi armed groups threaten fresh attacks on U.S. bases if Washington expands the war. The Islamic resistance in Iraq vowed to strike American interests with full force if the conflict widens further. The latest escalation comes as a senior aide to Mujtaba Khamenei outlined how Iran adapted its strategy to counter Trump's wartime tactics.
I came to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from there, and for about 3 days, we were completely cut off from everything. We were only trying to find out who was alive and who had been martyred. I didn't even have definitive news about the president. Of course, news arrived that day that he had not been martyred, but we had no communication. I saw the president for the first time 3 days after the start of the war. I perhaps saw Mr. Larijani 5 days later, and the first meeting took place 6 days later in a secure location, where 3 of the members of that meeting were later martyred. Islamic Republic, saying we will do this and that, we will build this and that. I told them there that our enrichment is not for sale. This is something the people of Iran for 20 years have endured sanctions for. Scientists have shed their blood. Can we sell it? You say you'll build a power plant for me. What are you building? I said there, no bribes and no threats. You have to threaten someone who is afraid. What worked very well for us was that it sent a very important message to the world. Despite the war and despite all this, no change has occurred, nor will occur, in the policies, principles, and ideals of the Islamic Republic. All the people and ministers we meet, friend and enemy, they say Iran emerged stronger from this war. This is their own expression. Iran astonished the world. Iran showed its real power. They say, we just realized that your atomic bomb is the Strait of Hormuz. We have been looking for something else until now. The world has realized that Iran is strong. This might actually have been our greatest victory.